Hi guys, so we're going to look at one of our homework problems together. This is number 4 from homework 15, the cell phone problem. So I already put the data into the sheet just to save some time. And you might notice this is horizontal. Our previous one was vertical. It doesn't matter either way. Sheets will work with us. I just made this one horizontal because that's how it was in the book. But if you want it to all be uniform, maybe you'll do all vertical. Up to you. But our first step is to create our scatter plot. So I'm going to select my full data range, including my labels, phone calls, and text messages, and then I'll go to Insert, Insert Chart. And it will make that chart for me. They gave us a bar chart because that's what they think was best, but we're going to switch it to a scatter plot. And it doesn't have to be huge, so I'll shrink it down a little bit, maybe move it down here. A really quick note, a lot of times we want to highlight everything when we make our chart. But if I make a chart with this, it doesn't really know what to do with the A, B, and C labels. If you're really good with Sheets or Excel, you can definitely make this work for you. But for simplicity, just highlight this data. Okay, our next step is to calculate R. So I'm going to label R in a box. And then I start my formula by typing in equals. And then my formula name is CORREL, parentheses. I'm going to do the Y value first. So looking at my chart, my Y value is text messages received. So I'm going to highlight that. For a lot of problems, we do have to really think about what is independent, what is dependent. For this specific problem, I don't think it really matters. What they told us was just that they are looking at text messages and phone call numbers. So I don't think that there's really one you could argue is dependent either way. Okay, but we highlighted our Y values, we highlighted our X values, close the parentheses, and then hit enter. And we have this super long, upsetting to look at decimal. So we're going to decrease that by clicking the decrease button until we have 3 decimal places. Okay, so R is 0.816. I would look at my table of R values. 0.816 is moderate positive, little typo, positive. Okay, and so then our next step is to interpret it. There's a moderate positive correlation between the number of phone calls received and the number of text messages received. Okay, so that's just putting R into a sentence. And then the really important part is our so. We could say, so in general, the more phone calls a person receives, the more texts they receive. Okay, something simple, but a complete sentence, and we're explaining what is increasing, what is decreasing as each one changes. Then I have this super long sentence. I don't like that, so I'm going to take a little bit of space and click merge. So now it's one giant box. And then I'll go to text wrapping and wrap it so that it's a paragraph instead of a long sentence. And then I like to be a little bit extra fancy and shade that in so that way it's a little bit easier to identify from the rest. If we really want, we could like center it, make it look nice. But okay. That is it for this problem. I'll definitely clean up some of the formatting. Maybe I'll bold R, and then my table, I always want to put lines on my table so that way I know that's my data source. And then these labels were long, so maybe I'll wrap the text on those, wrap the text on this. And then the last step for this problem is give a reason for why this correlation occurs. I'm going to leave that up to you and your own reasoning. If you can see a relationship between if somebody's making more phone calls, should they also be getting more text messages? And that is it for number 4.